Have a fielder bed, a Sheraton fielder bed. Of course, there's a table in the middle there from the late 18th century. And I put it together. It was in a room where it wasn't put together, so I decided to put it together for this video. So that's why there's kind of a table in the middle, because I didn't know what to do with the table. But you could see the beautiful workmanship, the reading on that post. And then it takes them today, good woodworkers, 4 or 5 hours with the tools of the 18th century to make one of those reeded posts. Then you come down here and you've got a nice carving of leaves. And then down here some more on the collar. And then that right there is a depressed ball. Maybe I can get it. And that's typical Philadelphia. So I think this was made in Philadelphia. And this table here is confirmed Philadelphia. And you can see down there the depressed ball. It's very similar to that. And that. So I think that's a Philadelphia piece. And as you could see, this is a rope bed. And you can see the holes in the side rails. Look how thick those rails are. Come over here where there's some sun. And they're thick because you really have to tighten those ropes in order to have a good night's sleep. And they have to tighten them every so often. Thus the term, when you go to bed, sleep tight. That's where that comes from. There's a canopy. And in the middle of the canopy, if I can get it over here, you see a hinge and it collapses. Thus the term fielder bed. It was easy to take the bed down, even though the term seems odd. It wasn't used out in the field. And this is where the bolts go. And you can see where the bolts go. Those are all original, very thick brass covers. And then you could see the wear. See how much wear right here, how the ropes were pulled this way. And how that dug into this mahogany. This is Cuban mahogany, very dense. These posts almost take 2 people to lift. I was quite shocked on how heavy these posts are. This also has a couple of rose head nails, which leads me to believe it's pre-1800. And of course that depressed ball on a post, post-1800, they really did not use anymore. You'll notice when you come to the back, you don't have quite as fancy head post. This is the foot post. This is the head post. And that's because most of the year, the bed clothing that came down from this framework went all the way to the floor. There were curtains. It created an environment inside the bed to keep drafts off the occupant and to keep it warm. And so most of the year, this post was covered. But in the summertime, they would take the drapes off and just have a canopy on top, and that would be exposed. So they wanted some nicety to it, but they didn't want to pay for this kind of workmanship that you see over here. They just didn't want to pay for that. It's all hand done. Now this bed does sit low, and it is also the length is short. It's a 69-inch length bed from that post, right here, to that post. Generally they were 72 to 76 inches, sometimes even into the 80s in length. There was no standard mattresses back then. The width from that post to this post was 48 inches inside measurement, and that was more standard. There you can see the nice mahogany headboard, and you can see some of the ridging from the hand planing. So I will most likely get a mattress. Now that they have foam mattresses, it's very easy to have a mattress made to fit this, and I'm going to use this as my bed. I do have a top for the canopy here. I just wanted to show the woodwork and the frame. Now it does sit low, and the question is, generally these rails here were 20 inches, 22 inches high. This rail is 14. So it is either a child's bed, or maybe it was a bed for a disabled person. And of course, with this kind of workmanship, it would have been a family of wealth. It's just nice Cuban mahogany. So late 18th century. This type of style went into the early 1820s. Very thick. See, look, you could just see how thick the rail, front rail is, and how thick this post. Very, very thick. So there again, the nice workmanship. See how close I can get without losing. Of leaves. And then the reading, which was very hard to do, because the majority of this, like that ball, was done on a lathe, but this had to be done by hand. So a nice 18th century bed, which I will eventually use as my own. Thanks for watching.